Hey everyone, this is Coloring Chemist. My name is Connie, and welcome back to my channel. I thought I would take a crack at the plans videos. I don't think I've ever made a plans video. Have I? I don't think I have. I think I've made a few videos where I've looked through my books for inspiration for different seasons, but I don't know if I've ever made a plans video. And truthfully, I'm not sure I would even call this a plans video. We'll see. We'll see what it turns into. This is me. You sort of are going to get a little peek into kind of my thought process and what I go through at the beginning of a month, just to figure out, kind of get an idea, kind of, about what I might color that month. So I've got a bunch of stuff here, and I'll try and explain, something of my thought process. So, all right, so we got a lot of stuff going on here. There are two books that, I don't know if I would call them project books. I'm hoping to color in them every month this year. We'll see. So one of them is Tiny Year, and this is a Coloring Heaven book with illustrations by Agora Pop. And I'm hoping to do the sort of title pages for each month. And so in addition to the title page for each month, there's also 3 pages that have, little tinies. But yeah, so I've done January and February. So we're looking at March. For those of you that have watched my channel and watched my videos before, you'll know I've said a number of times, I can't picture pages. I don't know. I think there is a word for it, and I don't know if I fit the definition of that actual diagnosis. Aphantasia? I think that's what it's called. But I actually might, because I have trouble visualizing. Not remembering. I can remember particularly visual information really, really well. So if I look at something and then look away, my brain actually takes a picture of it. So I can see it in my brain. But what I can't do is imagine. So I can look at this picture and then look away and see this picture in detail as it is right now. But I can't then take that picture and adjust it and start putting color on it and imagine what it's going to look like, if that makes sense. So when I look at pictures like this, the only general idea I have in my head is green. Partly because there's St. Patrick's Day in March, green, and also because this is sort of a gardening page, right? There's lots of flowers, there's lots of plants, they're starting seeds and what have you. And so green, that's really all I have. So then I was starting to try to think, what kind of mediums would I use? And it's interesting because I often think of mediums to use in a month before I think of the books that I'm going to color. That may be because I have way too many mediums. That's a possibility. I have way too many supplies. But I think I'm still going to color the image, like the little details in the image, with Pitt pens and Stettler pigment brush pens, just because I think that's what I've been doing so far. That's what I've done on January and February. But I was trying to think about the background. What would I do for the background? So here, this was like, it was like pan pastels, but I don't think it was actual pan pastels. It was maybe like a cheaper version of that. I think I have 2 of those Jane Davenport palettes. I don't think they sell them anymore, but you can use eyeshadow, like cheap eyeshadow palettes would work the same, right? So that's what I did for the background here. This was gelatos. So then I was thinking like maybe inks, maybe? But then if I did green inks, and then I know, again in my brain, leaves are green. So is that too much green? So I don't know. So that's one thing I'm thinking of for March. So I know I want to do this page in March. I just don't know. It's really the background. And my color palette is green. There's flowers on here too. We've got some kind of flowering branch up here. That looks like a hyacinth. tend to be very literal when I color. And so hyacinth would be kind of purple. So does that mean my flowers are going to be? I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to see. But so this is what I say when this is a plans video. I'm not sure it actually is a plans video. But yeah, so that's something I'm going to color in March, hopefully. And then the other thing that I've been trying to do once a month is, this is a PDF by Mel Panny. And you know, I just discovered she had a YouTube channel the other day. And I was watching her. She was doing a flip through of Flower Fantasy, which I do have on the way. And I've really discovered a love for coloring her stuff. And she has an Etsy page, which is where I bought this. And she pronounced her own name on the video that I was watching. And I don't know if I can do it. So it's Mel Panny, and it starts with a CH, but she doesn't say ch like we would in English. It was more a huh. I can't. It was like a throat kind of thing. I don't know if it, Mel Panny Hatsapana Yotu. I don't know. I probably butchered that terribly. I don't know. I'll practice. We'll see what I can do. But this is a calendar that she sold. It's PDF. It's 2026 calendar, and I modified it. So the pages originally were this way, and they had a little calendar up here, like with the squares. And then this image was rotated and smaller down below. Now I have Adobe Pro, and I hope this is okay that I did this. I'm certainly not, giving this or selling this to it was just sort of more for my own use. I didn't really need a calendar, so what I did was I took the PDF, I removed the calendar part of it, took the image that was at the bottom of the page, rotated it 90 degrees, and just enlarged it. So this was the March image. I've done the cover page. And then there's January and February. Again, trying to think about backgrounds. This is a night scene, I think. I mean, it's got a moon, so I'm assuming it's supposed to be a night scene. And something I've always struggled with in terms of night scenes. Again, I'm very literal, so the night sky to me is black. I realize you can make night skies all kinds of colors, but, to me it should be black. And I printed this on, it's like a student grade watercolor paper. So it's a thinner watercolor paper, but it does have sizing on it. And I do most of the coloring, again, with my Stettler pigment brush pens and my Faber-Castell Pitt pens. And they blend really beautifully on this paper. But I was trying to think, what could I do for a black background where I can put like little white dots, like stars and things, and still have them remain white? So here's where we're going to deviate from plans and just sort of talk a little bit about kind of a technique. So I'm going to move some of this stuff out of the way here. So you can see, I've got a big swatch book here. We'll take a look at that in a minute too. I do love using this Zig Art and Graphic Twin black water-based, dye-based marker for particularly backgrounds in double-sided books, because it is water-based. It's fairly juicy, and it does sometimes go through to the other side of the page. But for whatever reason, whether it's the formulation of the ink in this pen or the nib, it's a rubber, like a foam rubber nib. It's not a fiber nib like you'd find on a Tombow or pretty much any other water-based markers I've ever seen. This is the only water-based marker I've ever seen that has this foam rubber nib. So it's almost like a Copic nib. It does not fray, ever. I don't know if you can see the point on that. The point on that is as sharp as it was the day I started using it. So I don't know if it's the nib, if it's the ink formulation, I don't know, but it doesn't streak. So I do really love using this. But the problem is, because it's water-based, if I then want to do like white gel pen and put little stars or little dots over top, and I'm gonna just grab my, I don't remember to get this out, do I? I have a little, see, we can zoom today too. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. This is just a piece of scrap paper. I often do this when I'm planning too. So I scribbled out a little patch of that Zig marker here. And I don't know if you can see. Can we go in anymore? Oh, we can, a little bit there. All right, ooh, we're really close now. So this is that Zig marker. And I I know my light's kind of challenging right now, but if I take white gel pen and make a white spot, we're going to leave that. We're going to let it dry. Can you even see as it's drying now? It's turning less white, isn't it? I did another one right there. It doesn't stay white because I think it kind of so I mean, gel pens like this do have, there is water, you know, in the ink or paint or whatever you want to call it that's in these pens. And so I think it starts to reactivate the ink from this marker. And the white never stays really white. The only white that I've ever managed to get to stay really white on top of this is the, this one. Ooh, it's going to be really close. The Dr. P.H. Martin's Bleed Proof White. But it doesn't come in a pen. You have to put it on with, you know, like a dotting tool or a toothpick, which is fine. But it's more of a pain. And I'm being lazy. So I was just trying to think, like, what could I use for a black background on that March page? Can you see how it's not, like, it's lost a lot of that white brilliance. What could I use on there that wouldn't let that happen? So, I mean, any water-based marker is going to do the same thing. So this is some black alcohol marker. Let's put a little white. We'll see what that does after a while. And then up here, this is ink, but it's not your regular, like I have all the distress inks, like in the little small cubes. And there is one called, what's it called? Black Soot, I think. But again, distress inks are water-based, and they're going to be activated again by me putting something like this over top, right? So I thought, well, I do have, oops, this. I know, we're really close right now. Sorry. It's called VersaFine. It's pigment ink. And I think it is pigment ink for fine details, perfect for using watercolors to color stamped images. Doesn't say on here. But it is waterproof once it's dry, which is why it says it's perfect for using watercolors to color the stamped image. So if you stamp an image with this and let it dry, you can then use watercolor to color the image, and it's not going to reactivate and smear, whereas something like distress ink would. So I thought, well, what if I take this and take like one of these makeup brushes, right? Now, this one I'm going to have to use exclusively now. I let this dry. I won't be able to wash this out now because it's waterproof. So this brush is just going to have to be for that ink pad, but that's okay. And I put down some of that ink on this paper, and you can see I've already been trying some things here. So, oh, like, get that going. If I put down some white spots of gel pen, let's see. If we go back, actually it stayed okay on the black alcohol marker, but I don't know that I like. I guess if I put a couple coats of the black, it would be okay. It's just not quite black enough for me. I've been really kind of into inks and using inks lately. But you can see this. So that was the zig marker. The white almost turns pink. You see that? I was also playing around with, I have this, I got it off of AliExpress or Temu. It was a pack of 3. It's all in Chinese. They are white. They're supposed to be like white pigment pens. One of them looks like this, which is cool. And it's got this little kind of bullet nib on this long metal, I don't know what you would call that. A ferrule? No, that's paintbrushes. I don't know what you would call that. Anyway, it is kind of cool for making like dots because the nib is quite hard, and it is a white pigment ink, so it's similar to the ink that's in the Faber-Castell, the white Pitt pen, because this is also pigment ink, right? So it does have some opacity to it. And again, this, if I try this on the, over top that zig water, and you can see, look at, it's picked up some of the black, right? I had to scribble that off. If I put this on alcohol marker, didn't pick up any of the black. And if I put this on over top that ink pad, picked it up a tiny little bit. What about this pen? If I make dots with this, they still seem to be staying pretty white. What if I do it on the alcohol marker? Yeah. I mean, they're not as opaque as a gel pen would be. But if I do it on here, they start out white, and you can see immediately they just kind of fade away. So, come back out. There we go. So yeah, just thinking about, you know, plans and coloring and what I'm going to do, I think I might try using this VersaFine pigment ink pad with a brush and doing my black background that way. Now, so now I'm thinking about this. Do I want to go over top this smoke, or do I want to put it down and then maybe take something like the white pit pen and go over top? Now, I don't have to do these kinds of plans, but it's just, these are the kinds of plans that I do at the beginning of the month, just trying to think. If I want to get close to the image, should I put down some masking fluid on, you know, the just the parts of the image up here that I would try and, you know, having to be getting close to? Do I want a solid border? Do I want to tape this off? Or do I want to just use the ink with the brush and just kind of, you know, fade it out to the edges? I don't know. But these are the kinds of things that I think about when I'm doing my plans for, you know, what I might color in a month. And then I start doing things like this, just doing little experiments to say, you know, I've never used this I've used it to stamp sometimes, but I've never used it with a brush to do, you know, like a background. It's not super black, but I could probably put, you know, I could layer it up and put more and more coats on there. So yeah, thinking about that. Let's see, what else have we got for plans? So thinking about that. Oh, so those are really the only two sort of books that I, you know, had plans to do in March, just because I'm trying to do a page, you know, per month in each of those. I did also mention in my completed pages video for February that I've been having some wrist pain. Right there, actually. I can almost, yeah, I can push on it. Right there. And I don't know if that's carpal tunnel. I don't know what that is. But maybe I just need a bit of a rest. I have done a fair amount of coloring for January and February. I've also been trying to play piano more. I used to play piano quite a bit when I was younger. Gotten away from it. Trying to get back to it. Maybe I overdid it there. It's also winter here in central Canada, and I was doing some shoveling the other day, and the snow, we'd sort of had a warmer spell, and then it got cold, so it was quite hard, and I had to kind of, you know, jam the shovel in to kind of break the snow. So that was kind of hard on my wrist too. So I don't know. Could be a variety of things. So just trying to think of, you know, other things that I could maybe color with that wouldn't be so hard on my wrists. Not that the coloring with those markers, you know, the Pitt pens and the Staedtler pens is terribly hard on my wrists. I don't know. Just like I say, this, believe it or not, this is how I plan. As a teacher, for those of you again who've watched my channel, I'm a chemistry teacher. I'm incredibly organized, like obsessively organized when it comes to teaching in my courses. But when it comes to this, my hobby, apparently all of that goes out the window and I'm just scatterbrained. That's okay. So thinking about plans, I did have a person ask about these. So these are the Sakura Coupy-Pencils, they're called. Sakura, Japanese company. And I purchased these probably last summer. I've not used them. Swatched them, but not used them. This is, I think, the full set. So they come in this box. Isn't this cool? They're called pencils, but you can see they're more or less crayons. That's how they feel to me. They just feel like wax-based crayons. Although, not quite the same as... I mean, they definitely feel like they have more pigment than, say, you know, your typical Crayola crayons. Maybe less pigment than Neocolor 1 crayons. And they're harder than either Crayola or Neocolor 1. Like, there's really no crumbs of any kind. So they're almost like a cross between a pencil and a crayon, if that makes sense. I don't know. They're hard to explain. But they come in this cool box. I got them on Amazon Japan. And I think there are... Is there 90 colors? I think there's 90 colors. There's your color palette. There are some metallics. And someone had asked in one of my videos, they must have remembered me getting these, and they said, you know, had I colored a page with them? Had I done anything with them? And honestly, I really hadn't. I did the swatches. I did a swatch of them in my giant swatch book here. Oops. So there's the full swatch. Oh, there's 72. I really should have counted, shouldn't I? They come in these little... You can take these out. They come in these little... These are just cardboard boxes with holes. And that's what they look like. This... I think the whole thing is made of the same material, but when you hold this in your hand, it doesn't come off in your fingers. It has a color number printed on the actual crayon. It's called a pencil. I don't know what else. I don't know what to call it. So you can identify them. It does have color names somewhere. I think on a brochure that came with. So when I did this swatch, I wrote down the color names as well, but just the numbers are on the crayons. But yeah, they come out in these, so you can pull these out and set them on your desk, or you can leave them in here. It's kind of neat. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 14 metallics, and then you've got your regular colors here. So then I'm thinking, what could I do with these? Maybe I could do something with these this month. I think whatever I do, I mean, you can see that the color laydown, they're not super pigmented. And because I don't want to really aggravate my wrist, I don't want to be, having to put down burnishing pressure. So I had this, again, just a piece of scrap paper here. And I was just trying to see, would they work for layering? So not burnishing pressure, but, just... And what kind of paper would they work best on? Because they really are kind of like... They're hard to explain. I don't know how to explain them. They feel like a cross between a crayon and a pencil. So yeah, I was just trying to, figure, could I do some kind of... I also tried them with different solvents, like different blending solvents. They didn't really want to blend out, to get rid of the weight of the paper. So I think whatever I did would have to be very kind of soft and because again, I don't want to have to put, if I did put burnishing pressure down, you can certainly get then they tend to get a little bit crumbly. But if you're just doing... layering, which is maybe true with other crayons too. But if you're putting down burnishing pressure, you can get a much brighter color, but I kind of don't want to do that. So, yeah, I mean, what kind of paper? If they're kind of like crayons, maybe a more textured paper. So maybe like an Amazon paper. When I did this swatching, I did it on, it was like a kind of a mixed media, I don't know, to get like a mixed media cardstock, which is pretty smooth. And they didn't feel sticky or you know, you get that skating feeling sometimes with smooth paper and waxier kind of feeling things. They didn't feel like that. But yeah, I'm not sure what kind of paper I could use. Oh, hi, Mr. Coloring Chemist.
Hi, everybody. Interesting.
They're kind of like crayons, but not. They kind of feel halfway between a crayon and a pencil crayon.
Well, they look very sleek, very cool.
Here, would you like to?
Oh, sure. Sakura Coupy?
Koopy?
Koopy?
Koopy? I don't know.
Interesting.
Pencil? They call them pencils, but...
Wow, that is much fancier than any of my coloring pencils used to be.
Or your crayons?
Or my crayons. Is the whole thing one piece?
I think so.
Really? So how do you keep them sharp?
Well, you have to sharpen them.
With like a little knife thing, or would
Well,
you
no,
use
I
like
think
a normal sharpener?
I would probably just use like a little handheld sharpener.
What's the base? Is it a wax?
I think so. It doesn't tend to come off on your hands.
No, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. I don't know.
That is very... Is this a new item that we're looking at?
Well, I got them a while ago, but I haven't done anything with them. And I had a viewer ask if I'd done anything with them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, see? They just go down.
Can I try?
Sure.
Gently.
Mr. Coloring Chemist, we've been talking about coloring together, and I gave him some of my pencils one day to try out with a book. And Mr. Coloring Chemist tends to have a bit of ADHD.
What?
And the first thing he did with them was he started drumming. I believe I actually handed him a luminance pencil. The first thing he did was he started drumming on the table with the pencil. And I had a bit of a heart attack.
No, not a heart. You had a correction. I was corrected.
Told him not to drum on the table with the luminance pencils.
You'd have to be very careful to not just go really hard, because then you're going to flatten it out, right?
Well, if you want to flatten it out, we'll just sharpen it.
That's true.
That's a metallic one.
Oh, that's why it's a little different. Okay, okay. Because it seemed it was more difficult to lay it down.
Yeah,
It
that's
was much more...
It seemed to not want to put in as much pigment
Yeah,
down.
yeah.
That's metallic.
That's cool. It's a very light laying down of color, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
So where would you use that?
Well, I was just saying this in my, just talking about, thinking about coloring for, it's just like printer paper.
Okay, fair enough.
So what kind of paper would I use? Would I use...
And this is your
Well, that's my swatch
palette?
book. No, don't color on that.
there
Sorry, everyone.
Don't color on that. Go get your own coloring palette.
Well, this is my swatch book, so these are all the colors.
Okay, so they're very...
Yeah, I mean, I think they would work on smoother paper, but I'm just wondering if they would give like a brighter color maybe on a paper that's a bit rougher, you know, like...
Yeah, or would they leave little bits of material behind?
Well, I mean, you would just brush that off with a little brush, right? You
Or
would
is there
just-
like a... Oh, yeah, okay.
Okay,
Is
not
there
with your...
like
You shouldn't do it with your finger. We have brushes for that.
Is there like a blending brush?
Well, no, and I was just saying, I was just talking about that too, because I did try, like I have these blending pens that have like a solvent in them,
Okay.
but they don't...
If it's a wax-based material, well, I guess a little bit.
Well, with
huh?
this, yeah, but I wasn't... I mean, we can let that dry and we can see, but I wasn't super...
It would be a very special effect.
Well, I mean, this works far better with colored pencils, pencil crayons.
That's very cool.
That I did just burnishing, like pushing really hard.
Okay.
But I was just saying, I've been having some wrist pain lately, so I was trying to think of things that I could do to color this month to not.
Would that wreck your crayons? Wouldn't it mix the tips?
Well,
Or would you just like shave that?
well, you
piece off?
you just kind of scribble it off on a scrap
Gotcha.
piece of paper.
Okay,
Yeah,
that
because
makes
you might
Because then you get oranges and
on the
reds and
yellows. Yeah,
yellows
you
all
just kind of
together.
scribble
Okay.
it off on a piece of paper. But
Right, okay, interesting.
so yeah,
I would find that for me to be difficult to use. I'd have to really know what I was doing.
well, I mean that's the thing, and we were talking about this in my previous completed pages video. Sometimes you just have to be brave and try.
Just be brave.
Be brave. What's the worst that could happen? I mean, it doesn't work out, but it's not like the world
If they're
ends.
my crayons or if they're your crayons? What's the
Well,
worst that could
don't
happen?
break them.
Oh, don't break. Don't break. That's very funny. So, what's the side bits here?
Oh, I had put down some black.
Just to see what it looks like on
Just
black.
to see what it looked like on black. But
okay.
yeah, you can see it doesn't really.
Doesn't really go through.
Yeah, you would need something more opaque to show up on black, and that's what I was testing for to see how opaque these were. They're not. So, but yeah, that's just something I was looking at.
The colors are very nice.
Yeah.
I like the pastel-y type colors.
Well, they are pretty, and like things like this blue gray, and we've got some really pretty kind of like earthy kind of greens in here, and some kind of ochre brick colors.
Yeah, and don't forget
The blues, yes, I know you like the
I do love the
blues.
blues. Although those are very cool.
Well, you've got this really aqua blue pale. It's really, really pale, greeny blue.
That's a cool color. And I do like some of these in here.
Yeah, like the magenta and the Bordeaux, and yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
So I don't know. We'll
Sorry, I
see.
didn't mean to interrupt.
No, that is okay. There's something else, actually, if you stay here for a second. Mr. Color and Chemist and I have been talking about maybe color on camera together. And I think I mentioned this briefly
You said it
before.
out
I
loud.
did.
Now we have to.
Well, we don't have to, but we
no,
might.
We should.
So,
actually.
again, March plans. Maybe I do actually have another copy. Except now I don't know where I put it. Oh, it's over there. Do you want to grab it? Of Small Victories. Because I was thinking if we start with a small page, that might be something. That's your copy. Might be something maybe. But we'll have to pick a page that I haven't colored.
And something that I can actually do.
Well, yeah, and something that appeals to you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like that would be too busy for me.
Okay, I already colored that. Want to see mine?
I would love to. Mine would not look like that.
What? I mean, yeah.
Because it's pretty. Look how pretty it is.
Well, I mean,
This is a cool page. I never saw this page.
I've been doing this a while now.
Oh my god.
You don't start out like this.
Well, no, you don't.
This is a
You
different kind
don't.
of crayon, and then I buffed it
Did you really?
with like a
Can I touch it?
yeah. It's very. I know it looks like
Wow.
glass, doesn't it?
That's cool.
Isn't that cool?
That's
That
really
was I totally discovered that by accident.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a different kind of crayon, and then I took a Kleenex, a tissue,
Really?
and buffed it out with my finger, and it turned. It's like a mirror. I know, it's very cool.
It is very cool. Okay.
So I was saying,
Yeah, like something.
well, and
The
even
lighthouses were nice.
there's trucks.
There are trucks. I do like a good truck.
I mean, we could just pick one, little truck,
I like the
or
lighthouses. I both like lighthouses. Yeah.
like there. Yeah, we could pick like one of
I
those.
like that one.
You like that one?
That's a nice picture.
Yeah, we could do one of those.
Nice and simple.
There
I can
are
actually do it.
bugs.
We could color
I'm not
bugs.
a fan of bugs, but florals probably don't appeal to you.
No, not the favorite.
I mean, there's a lot of florals
Those
in
are
here.
cute.
Yeah, there's
Those
some
are alright.
other ones in there. Yeah, we choose a page maybe that had like, there's boats.
Ooh, I do like a good boat.
So there's some,
Nothing wrong with a good boat.
there are some boats there.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
you can take your copy and you can think about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can let me know what you think later.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
All right.
Did you You already said this was a March project?
No, no, no. Well, I mean, this is just my March sort of plans video, but I just
Okay.
was talking and saying this I'm sort of, it's funny, for as organized as I am, and you can probably confirm this. Am I an organized person?
Can confirm.
Like obsessively organized?
Well, I wouldn't say
Yay.
excessively.
Really?
Very organized. But that's part of the draw, right?
Well, yeah. But for the coloring, I don't tend to organize or really plan out my plans for each month.
That's
I'm just
true.
it's
You
just
have
kind of
mentioned
like I don't know, I just sort of do what I feel like. So this wouldn't have to be a March thing.
Okay.
If you wanted to color some other
Although
month.
making it a March thing would actually give me some motivation to do it.
Well, that is true.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, today is only February 27th, so you have a couple days,
Okay.
and you can, yeah,
We can figure it out.
and then we'll see where it goes.
And you're saying do it together
Well, we could both be
in a
on.
video?
We could both be on
Whoa.
on camera, or
That's confidence.
if you're not comfortable with that, I mean, I
Oh.
would be here to help you,
Yes, you would.
or you could color off camera, and then we could just show what we did later. You know, you decide.
I decide.
You decide.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Okay.
there you go.
I will go do some deciding.
Okay.
Okay.
All
Bye.
right. Bye, Mr. Coloring Chemist.
Bye.
All right. So there's some more potential March plans. We'll see. We'll see where that goes. We'll have to see what supplies Mr. Coloring Chemist wants to use. I'm guessing probably some kind of pencil crayons, colored pencils. Sorry, Canadian pencil crayons. Colored pencils. That might be. Just because I mean that's something that when most people first start coloring, that's probably what most people are most familiar with, right? Because you had those as kids, or crayons. I mean, we can certainly try these Koopy pencils, but yeah, somebody in the comments had asked about me doing something with these, so I don't know. That might be another potential March plan. Maybe doing a video, and they were asking about techniques, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure what techniques could be used. Like I say, you know, we tried a little bit of the blender pen here. It doesn't give the greatest finish. The burnishing, you know, gives much brighter colors and a better finish. But like I say, I don't know if my wrist can handle that this month. So I don't know. We will have to see, you know, what I can come up with, what paper. I had pulled like maybe a Creative Haven book, or maybe like I say, like an Amazon print book. This has got a little bit rougher paper. Maybe it would help, you know, pull some of that material off the crayon, so I don't have to work as hard as a smoother paper. I don't know. This is a book that I've not colored in. I've been trying to do that a little bit starting last year and this year as well. You know, just trying to color in untouched books, and this is an untouched book for me. So, I mean, it's got all kinds of seasonal pages in here. Sorry, this is Gnome Sweet Gnome, Teresa Goodridge. So there's spring pages in here. I don't know. So I mean, that might be a plan too. You know, we could see about that. I had also, I've got stuff going on all over the place here. I had also pulled aside Wonderful Wildflowers, because I haven't yet colored in this either. And I taped off this page, and I wasn't even sure why. So I actually taped one of those, talked before about those disposable cutting boards, and I sort of cut it to size, and just sort of taped it off with some of that frog tape. I'm thinking, again, trying to use supplies and what have you that I've not used before. This is, for those of you that haven't seen this before, this is my swatch book. And I created this. This was a labor of love. Originally, I just had my swatches in like a binder. And I don't know, I wanted to create something more permanent. But I also wanted something where I could add and remove pages. I could move the pages around. And so I have a Pro-Click binding system, and it's basically a hole punch that punches all these little holes in paper. And I do have Pro-Click spines, and they actually click closed. In fact, that's what I've got on this calendar. So it's all these little rings, and they click open and closed so that you can click them open, take pages out, move them around, and then click them all closed again. But I didn't have one big enough for this, because if you can see, I got a lot of pages in here. So I discovered these plastic coil bindings that you can actually use. They fit with the spacing of the holes. You just have to wind it in there. So it takes a while. But yeah, so if I now wanted to remove or change pages here, I have to wind this coil all the way out, move my pages around, wind it all the way back in, but it does still work. So, oh, and the covers of this, sorry, I know they're shiny, old scrapbooking paper that I had. I was never really a scrapbooker, but I did have some pads of paper that I bought, I think at Walmart when they used to sell it. It was like that Tim Coffey, he was a designer, right, with like scrapbook papers. So I took some of his pages out of it was a 12 by 12 scrapbook pad, and they were double-sided, and so I glued them together, and then I laminated them, right, you can see, laminated, and I did that front back. And this particular, I really like the pattern, this particular pad of scrapbook paper came with letter stickers, so I just cut a little rectangle of a sort of coordinating piece of paper, stuck the stickers down, swatch book. This image was already on the paper, so that was already there. And then I glued those on, laminated it, and made my covers. And then this is all my swatches. I've done a video, I think, where I've gone through here before. I mean, I've probably added stuff since then, but I mean, I can do another video where I go through my swatch book if anybody's interested in that. Just let me know in the comments. But I was thinking, I have sprays. Heaven knows why, because I'm not a card maker. I never did scrapbooking. I thought I was going to do something with them. So I have some of the Distress mica stains, which are sprays. I also have some of the Distress oxide sprays. And I have some of the Dilutions ink sprays. So I have some of the just regular sprays, and then I also have some of their shimmer sprays. So I was thinking, and I know this is Joanna Basford paper. I mean, it's not watercolor paper. I haven't treated this. I haven't done anything other than just taping it down. That's all I've done. But what if I did like a spray background? I mean, I know I would be covering up, like I'm not worried about going in and around all these flowers. But then I think I would color everything with like maybe Languo gel pens. So I mean that would go right on top of, you know, any spray. I don't know. Maybe. Again, I can't picture it. I have no idea. All I know is the properties, like the chemical properties. For those of you who don't know, I'm a chemistry teacher. I think I mentioned that. I know the chemical properties of things, so I know what will work on top of what, and, you know, but I can't picture it. So I have no idea of, you know, like color palettes or anything else. I can't visualize what it would look like in the end. I just know that if I sprayed it, excuse me, I would probably cover this up, you know, do like I don't know, a random spray so you could all, maybe different greens, different blues. I have no idea. And then I know once that dries, Languo gel pen would go on top of it. Would I put like the shimmer sprays, and then, because Languo gel pens would be matte. Yeah, I don't know. But again, this is why I don't do plans videos typically, because I have no idea. I'm just rambling. Hopefully you guys are enjoying rambling with me. So, I mean, that would be my first page in here, which would be kind of cool. Maybe Wonderful Wildflowers, we'll have to see. I was also wondering, because I was thinking about that, and then I was thinking, well, what if I did some stencils? This is my stencil book. This is a 12 by 12, what do they call them? Portfolio? I mean, it's probably meant to exhibit like your artwork. So it has these clear plastic sleeves. And so this is where I keep my stencils. What I did was I took some of this same scrapbook paper, the 12 by 12, and I just slid it into each sleeve so that I could see the stencil. I know there's a glare because of my lights, but I mean, I didn't really, you know, I could still take the paper out and use it if I wanted, but it just helps me to be able to see the stencils. So then I was thinking, like, sorry, no, that's a glare. I'll try and hold this up. It's quite heavy, actually. I've got, like, smaller stencils in here. Do I want to do, like, sprays through a stencil? But, I mean, I don't know. Now, that's getting pretty... Yeah, I've got smaller stencils in here, too. Like I say, I'm not a card maker or a scrapbooker, so I don't have a whole lot of experience using sprays, number one, or stencils, number two, or number three, sprays and stencils together. So I don't know, that might be biting off more than I can chew. And I don't know, again, because I can't visualize, yeah, maybe that page would be too busy. It's pretty busy as it is, isn't it? Like, to spray through a stencil, yeah, I think that would be too busy. I think. Because it's busy. I made that mistake once before. I try and learn from my mistakes. Not in a Joanna Basford book, it was a different book, but if the page is busy, probably best not to put a stencil in the background to make it more busy. So maybe we'll just do sprays on this one. We'll see. So that's some possible March plans as well. Mr. Coloring Chemist, we'll see if I can get him to do some coloring. And then I don't really know. I did get some Eilidh Muldoon books back in the fall time. Haven't colored in any of them. So I pulled two of them out here. These two are her newer ones, and they have paper that's going to be much happier working with Pitt pens and Staedtler pens. If I color in some of her older ones, I'll have to, and I want to use Pitt pens or Staedtler pens, I'll have to use, I'll have to do something to the paper. Maybe spray it with Krylon Workable Fixative, or I could try using some of that Holbein multi-sizing liquid. But yeah, these, the paper is different, and I think I could probably maybe get away with blending right on the page. But I wanted to do maybe something in one of these books. I don't know. We'll have to see if I'm feeling it. So this one is Scottish Gardens, and then we've got Scottish Nature. I think I did try, didn't I? In one of these books. I thought I did. I thought I tested. Oh yeah, I did a little bit. So yeah, they did actually let me blend the Pitt pens and the Staedtler pens right on the page, which is weird because this paper doesn't feel like it's got a bit of a texture to it. You'd think it wouldn't, but it did. Or would I use a different? Like I say, I've been trying to use more of my supplies too. You know, the Staedtler pens and the Pitt pens are kind of my go-to all the time. I also tend to use the Zig Clean color pens a lot, but I've got a lot of pencils that I don't use. But again, with the wrist pain, I don't know if I want to. I don't know if now's the time to be breaking out the pencils. I could. I mean, I could be using some of the water-soluble mediums that I have. I mean, I have the Neocolor 2s, although I used those a little bit in February for backgrounds. I do have the Museum Aquarelles. I have some of the super colors. I mean, I have so many. So many. Too many. But you know what? They bring me joy. So I figure that's okay. I got Distress watercolor pencils. I do have the Albert Durs. King Art gel sticks. Maybe. I mean, I've got watercolors. I haven't done it's true, I haven't done a lot of water. I have a ton of watercolors for somebody who doesn't watercolor. Oh, the brushos. I forgot about those. Those are going to be more of a specialized thing because they are messy. And I have not, I mean, unless I want to use them as, you know, a powdered, they're like basically a watercolor kind of powder, which you can then mix in a palette and create watercolors. But I was hoping to use them by sprinkling them on a pre-wetted page, because then they give this really cool kind of, I don't know if you call it granulation or separation. I'm not really sure what the difference is between the two, but yeah, this separation kind of effect. But I may have to play with that a little bit more. You know, I do have the 120 set of Mungyo oil pastels. I've not used them. Isn't that, I mean, it's, I can say that about a lot of supplies. I swatch them, but I have not used them on a page. Maybe could I break out the oil pastels for something here? Or I haven't worked in this book in a while either. Enchantments. I feel like for oil pastels, I'm gonna want like a big open space. I know, watching Maya, Colored by Maya, she does a lot of work with oil pastels, and she will often choose books that have like a big open space. These had big open spaces on some of the pages. Maybe? A lot of little fiddly details to work around, though. Not sure. Not sure if that's a good match to the oil pastels or not. But yeah, like I say, this is how I plan. I tend to look at this first, and then I think, what supply do I feel like using? What supply have I not used in a while? What book would go well with that supply? I don't know, it's kind of backwards, isn't it? I don't know. I guess, you know what, it's coloring. We can do whatever makes us happy, can't we? That's my Pit pens. Pencils, gel pens. Yeah, I mean, watercolors, like I say, watercolors might be easier on my wrist. I don't watercolor a lot. I do have the Kuretake Gunzai Tambi watercolors. I have some granulating, like, more expensive watercolors. I do have some of the granulating, like the Kuretake, and I have a few of the White Knights. I have a set of Mai Liang watercolors that have some of the sparkly colors and then some of the regular colors. Oh yeah, those Supervision ones that I bought. Oh, and that Cobalt. Oh, right. Oh, I do love. Where are those? Where are those? I don't even know where those are. Well, I mean, I do. I have. Maybe with my wrist. There they are. With my wrist hurting, maybe I should do like a. Since I can't do, you know, a whole lot of coloring, maybe I should do. I know when I put that post out and asked people to vote on, you know, what kind of videos they would like. One of the choices, or two of the choices I gave, were supplies collection and book collection, which got actually the least amount of votes, but maybe I might have to do a couple of those videos just to give you guys some content, but to help my wrist rest. Yeah, those. I could do something with those, couldn't I? So these are Sumi. It's Sumi ink mixed with Kisho's Gansai paints. That's what these are. And I got them from Amazon Japan last year. There's the color palette. Isn't that beautiful? They are beautiful colors. That's my color kind of color palette, that muted. So maybe I could do some painting in one of these books. We shall see. We shall see what I decide to do. I have stuff all over the place here. And then these Supervision ones, those are the ones that I bought off of AliExpress. They're all metallic, and some of them are, I don't think they're granulating as much as the color of the ink and the color of the glitter are two different colors in some of them. Like this one here, I don't know if you can see. It's like a purple paint dye, but then the metallic part is gold. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, some of them are just really, really cool and unique. This one's kind of almost a gray purple with gold. You've got like a pink with gold, like an aqua with gold. So those would be interesting too. Okay. So it's giving me some ideas there. I also haven't colored in these. And the Rita Berman English versions that she's put out. So there's 3 of them. She's got Hidden Oceans, Hidden Earth, and Hidden Seasons. I've colored in Hidden Seasons, but I haven't colored in these. And the paper in these, as opposed to her German editions, the paper in the English ones that she put out, and these are bigger, is really good for using, again, the Pitt pens and the Staedtler pens. So I was thinking maybe a page in one of these too. See, there you've got a great big open space. I could play around with paints. I don't know how I'm assuming if the Staedtler pens and the Pitt pens work well in here, you could probably get away with watercolor, maybe. See, I'm not that familiar with watercolor, so I don't know. I make that statement, but I don't stand by it. I have no idea. But maybe like oil pastels? Yeah, so that's Hidden Oceans. And we've got Hidden Earth. Now I have colored this double page spread in the German version. Grab it here. So those are the German versions of these books. So Hidden Earth is Die Welt unter der Lupe Zoolander. Sorry, my German is not good. And I did, so I did that double page spread here. And I created this little scene, which you can see isn't there. So I did that with like stencils and stamps, because I wanted the bunny to be looking at something. So it's like this little dragon fairy castle. And then did the background, I think with some inks, and then I think there was some, I think I actually used some ink tents. Oh, that's another thing I haven't used in a long, long time. Yeah, so maybe, I wonder how this new, yeah, and then there's so Hidden Oceans is this one, Hidden Earth is this one. So I won't do that one again, but I mean, maybe there's some other ones in here. So I wonder how ink tents would work on this paper. I guess there's only one way to find out, isn't there? I feel like I colored that. Did I color that too? Oh yeah, I did. Look at that. Now, to color in here with Pitt pens, I did actually spray this with the Krylon Unworkable Fixative, because otherwise Rita's paper in the German versions really fights trying to blend those Pitt pens and Stettler pens on the page, which is how I color with them. So yeah, this was sprayed with workable fixative, the Krylon workable fixative first. But I don't think, from my tests anyway, I need to spray the English version. So yeah, obviously I'm not going to color that again. It's cute. It's a cute Easter spring page though, isn't it? That would be cute. That. Yeah. So maybe, I mean, I have the Inktense pencils. I don't have the blocks just because again, just wasn't, I mean, I wasn't using the pencils. So, I mean, why would I, this way. I have the Graphitint too. Yeah, I do have the Inktense. I wasn't using these, so I figured there's no point in me buying the blocks. And even if I did use these, I would probably color them out and then activate them on the page, not so much pick them up. I mean, I might, but to me the blocks were more, you know, to take your brush and pick it up off the block and then kind of paint with it. So I do have the Inktense paints, right? They did come out with, I think this is all they have, 24 paints. This was before, I think before they came out with the blocks. They had these, you could get Inktense paints. So I'm looking to the side here. I feel like something's going to collapse, but I think we're okay. And I have used these a little bit, but I think I would probably use the pencils. So that might be something too. Yeah. So that's another possibility. I've managed to ramble for about an hour now, and that's probably enough. So, like I say, I have no idea if any of this is going to get done. About the only two that I'm hoping for certain get done are, you know, these two, so I can sort of keep on track with these. But even if they don't, I'll do them in another, you know, another month. As a teacher, my summer tends to be a bit less hectic, and so, you know, if I don't get to these, I can always pick them up and do them in the summer. You know, do 2 pages a month instead of just 1. But yeah, so that is it. You got a little peek into my scattered thought processes when it comes to thinking about what I'm going to color in a particular month. So that's kind of why I don't do plans videos, because they would turn out like this. I'm not sure that this is worth anybody even watching. I don't know if you're even still here. But if you are, thank you. And yeah, I hope everyone is safe. I hope everyone is well. I hope everyone is enjoying their coloring. I hope everyone is feeling brave and feeling, you know, confident, feeling like, you know, just try things. That's kind of my motto for, you know, going forward in 2026. I've been trying anyway. Just trying things out. Will they work? Will they not work? Who knows? But if they don't, like I said to Mr. Coloring Chemist, what's the worst that can happen? The world won't end. Your page will just not look the way you thought it was going to look. And maybe that makes it a bit easier for me, because I can't picture what the page is going to look like anyway. So however it looks in the end, it's kind of like, well, I guess that's how it looks, but who knows? All right, like I say, I hope everyone is safe, hope everyone is well, and I hope everyone is enjoying their coloring. Till next time, folks, take care. Bye-bye.